The focus of marketing at Burwood was very events driven, very graphic design and kind of that making things look pretty. And there was no automation in place, so we weren't doing nurturing campaigns. It was just kind of one email at a time, reaching out to prospects and contacts. And so they were measuring success on a event by event, campaign by campaign basis. But the funny thing is people aren't coming to events as much anymore. It's really hard to even get folks on the phone for our inside sales team. So it just became more and more apparent to us that we needed to bump up our web presence and our content presence because that's where people were going. They weren't going to our sales rep, they weren't coming to our events, but they were Googling for solutions. So we made a shift towards a more strategic vision probably in mid-2015 to more of that content focus instead of the event planning focus. We had the content manager come on board, and the couple gaps that first came up were very obviously case studies and then the blog, as far as things that we just weren't showing. We always talk about previous success stories being critical, and that's something that we are asked for all the time in this industry. Where have you done this before? What is the best example of this you can show me? We have a freelance writer that we feel knows our voice, knows how we like to speak to our audience. As soon as we get client approval, we schedule the interview with the freelance writer. Once we started to build up the content pieces that we have and get enough for campaigns, we could start looking at multi-channel campaigns. So we would then advertise on social, and then we would also try to tie in 1 or 2 long-form type pieces of content. Then once we had all that content together is when we would look for other avenues outside of social and our Burwood.com website to promote it. The biggest internal obstacle that we initially faced was budget. And so I started to definitely get some raised eyebrows when it's like, what do you mean you need $10,000 for one campaign? I don't even understand what an impression is. It's been really cool on the website and digital content side to be able to say forward a notification to a salesperson or let them know like, hey, your current client that we know you're talking to just downloaded this white paper. Maybe ask them in the next meeting. And that was kind of like oh, really? So it was just a type of account intel that they weren't used to expecting from the marketing team. And they've been recently, one of our client directors walked into the account meeting and the client had a printout of one of our blog posts on cloud containerization. And that was really cool for us to hear that the client had like printed this out to bring to the meeting and say, hey, I saw this on your website. So just a total validation that the regular blog content is something that's helping us. Citrix has been one of our favorite partners to work with from a digital marketing perspective. The SDF program is very flexible when it comes to the types of marketing activities that we can spend the funding on. So it's really nice to have a partner that allows us to showcase content that's not, blaring Citrix from the rooftops, but more of a really partnered approach to the piece of content where we can really showcase Burwood Services expertise supported by the Citrix product. The Partner Kickstart program, I think, has huge potential for enabling Citrix partners to create and craft maybe digitally focused campaigns that are multi-channel without too much effort. And the idea that Citrix would provide a vetted freelancer or agency that we could then use to help us with the blog arm, the advertising, the social is huge.